on the day because he broke the goal on that day. Thank everyone who's supporting me on Ko-fi. It was such a huge help, especially with the holiday season coming up and the bills are on the way. So I really, really appreciate it. I think you by the end of the stream itself, we doubled it, and then I think by the end of the week, it was almost triple the goal. People were still tipping on Ko-fi, so thank you so, so much. I really, really appreciated it. It helped so damn much. Um,
Yay!
yes, thank you for that.
Maybe it's
And
because
then
they
my
love you, or maybe it's because they hate goals.
Who's to say?
yeah, okay, next I'll be sure not to put a goal in front of you guys next time. And then my actual announcement is that again, I was always on Wednesdays over on Table Story. That's TableStory at 3 p.m. Eastern over on a campaign called Department of Unsolved Mysteries or DUM. Very fun game. I wasn't around that last week, but from what I've heard, and I haven't heard much because they said I should not watch the previous episode. But from what I've heard, I'm gonna be walking in to a catastrophe that my character might have to fix. So we're gonna see what the hell they put the group in and what I have to get them out of. But if you love stuff like Warehouse 13, Twilight Zone, all of that kind of jazz, SCP Foundation, which we're like delving into a lot more nowadays, you can check that out over on Table Story.
Awesome. Okay. Thanks, Drac. Anybody else have anything? Yes, Caitlin.
I'll do super speedy because this I don't think is really the audience for it, but I think it's kind of cool, so I'm gonna share it anyways. We all know I do GeoGuessr streams, but I have a GeoGuessr notebook, which is like all of the studying I do for GeoGuessr. And I have a PDF that's available that's free for download, and I finally updated it with like my new pages from the past like 6 months, and that's free to download over on my itch, brutocaitlin.itch.io. It should be one of like two things in there, so it's easy to find. But if you're interested in seeing how I study, I think it's kind of cool. The pages are like sort of illustrated, sort of drawn, and I think they're really fun. And I'm excited that the new pages are up, so you should go check that out. It's free to download.
Nice. All right. Anybody else before we kick things off? Nothing? Oops.
Follow Sam on YouTube.
Follow Sam on YouTube. I'm hoping we get a May Contain Science episode about the radiation eating fungus that they've discussed about possibly using for space travel. I don't know if y'all heard about that. But there is a fungus that has been growing in the fields of Chernobyl, and it actually they've discovered that it is not only resistant to radiation, but it might actually be absorbing it. So yeah, there's something that is absolutely going to be the basis for a sci-fi horror film at some point.
No, it's awesome. It's lovely. And also because it's a perfect illustration of why it won't be on May Contain Science, because that work has been done by great science communicators. And today that includes you.
That means that everything that Sam has ever done is being done because everybody who ever did it wasn't good enough. So keep that in mind. Subscribe to May Contain Science. All right. With that, we're going to go ahead and kick off tonight's episode of The Last Excelsior.
Yeah, get good.
All right, welcome back, everybody. For anybody who is observing the camera issues tonight, is something wrong with my connection, and we're not entirely sure what it is. So we're just going to power on through, and Elise will be joining us here pretty soon. So we'll just go ahead and move into what we did in the previous chapter of the previous episode of the Last Excelsior. When we last left off with the crew, you guys had just staged a daring rescue and managed to swipe a Ferengi and the illicit activities of said Ferengi off of the world in which he was attempting to profit from its native life. It turns out he didn't realize that the object he was stealing was a living thing, or at least that's the way he is making it sound as he has attempted to explain himself. But Sprack has passionately made the case that he was not aware that his crew had set him up to steal something that wasn't a gem. And it's a conceivable mistake to make. The egg in question does look like a large precious stone of some kind, and it looks translucent. It does not look like anything is inside of it. It looks like you can see right through it. Of course, you being Starfleet and having the science equipment and actually giving a damn about the things you come across, you've discovered that this is in fact an egg, and that the translucence, its ability to seem somewhat transparent like the ice, is actually one of its protection mechanisms to avoid being eaten by predators. It is sort of a trick of the eye, and it certainly fooled the Ferengi. There is also the question of a lingering Burrell-class bird of prey that was spotted in orbit and cloaked around the time for a brief second on sensors, appeared on sensors and then cloaked. There's also been a scan that indicated from our Griffin wing that there is indeed a cloaked vessel that is lingering out there right now and has not reappeared. But you guys did, thanks to Cadence, manage to intercept communications between Sprack's crew and Sprack. Sprack has not been questioned so much about the crew just yet, has only just mentioned that his crew has left him out to dry and is in the process of trying to kind of talk his way out of this a little bit. Now, you all managed to get out of this crevasse before this very large creature, this native creature, this sort of reptilian worm-like thing almost destroyed everything and everyone. And you managed to save the egg in the process. But more importantly, you managed to have come across the strange material that was attached to the egg that seems to be like solidified, like a biological element that was attached to the egg that seems like it could have medicinal benefits that could perhaps help with the situation going on back in the colony. So you recall, the colony is currently suffering something of a medical emergency right now. There is an entire group of scientists and archaeologists who have come down with a strange illness that they can't seem to pinpoint what the problem is. And all of the symptoms point to radiation poisoning. However, there's no real signs of radiation. There is no rads being detected on any of them, and they cannot pinpoint what the issue is. But everyone is stable right now and quarantined in a medical facility. And the nurses and medical staff of the USS Pride are currently assisting. We're going to pick this up with everyone arriving at the colony itself. So the colony, it is a large outdoor colony that has what would appear to be a proximity of force fields that arises when the temperatures drop outside. And it does have what appears to be a large set of terraforming equipment, not used to terraform the planet and change its environment, but to stabilize the environment around the location of the colony itself. Scientists, after discovering that this was the home of a previous civilization, all the colonizing and terraforming came to a slamming halt, and Starfleet immediately initiated a scientific expedition to find out what it was and to ensure that they didn't damage anything or harm any ecosystems that perhaps remained undiscovered until this point. Starfleet doing the good thing. However, everything has been quarantined at this point. As a quick reminder, you guys have the doctor colony is Dr. Davish, and the head of the colonists is Dr. Nariu. And we're starting the scene off with Sprack being thrown at the mercy of the head of the colonists. As you guys have all brought him back, Sprack is approaching, being escorted off the Griffin wing. You guys just we're gonna just say that unless you wanted to beam him down there, but basically he's being delivered to the scientific team that he was swindling and possibly endangering. When he comes stepping off of well, I'll leave it to you, Sam. Do you think Cadence would have just beamed Sprack down there and let the rest of the crew who's beamed down there, or do you want to actually set down and disembark and see to it?
Once Taeon is disembarked, I will beam Sprack down there. Not before, just keeping eyes on our individual, but also being the eyes in the skies.
Okay.
But I'll keep an open comms line.
Okay.
Just to make sure that my crew is being adequately bothered by my presence.
And you'll get like a real-time update of whether or not this Ferengi is managing to talk his way out of the situation.
Yep.
Yeah, Sprack approaches the colony head, clutching his arms, rubbing his elbows, and just going, "Got cold, didn't it?" Naryu stares at him and says, "We've been contacted by the USS Pride and given an update about you, Dr. Sprack." Well, I guess that'll save us a bit of time. So, is there heating in the prison cell I'm headed towards, or what do you know about what's harming my scientists? Oh, yeah, I do know that. I do know about that, actually. Tell you what, I will be more than happy to give you all of that information. On one condition. We can negotiate this a little bit.
I'm here, right? I'm
Oh yeah,
kind of
yeah.
watching all
Anybody who
this.
wants to be here can be here.
Okay,
for
cool,
this.
cool.
Yeah.
The moment they try to negotiate anything, I'll just like place a hand on his shoulder. And just a gentle squeeze. You know, I'm not trying to
It's
hurt
enough
him.
to get that reaction from him though.
I think enough people have been hurt and put in danger as is. I think you should just tell them what they need to know.
You have a fair point. Well, it's not actually a disease. It's a Tithrian compound. You see confusion on the face of Naryu. Doesn't seem to compute what that is, but you see recognition on the face of Dr. Davish, and you would probably see recognition on the face of our dear ship's doctor as well. As he says this, Dr. Davish puts his hand on his forehead and goes, "I will administer treatment right away. For those of you who don't know," this long sigh says, "Tithrian is a type of poison. It's a sedative used to mimic other types of illnesses. It's usually temporary. It can be customized in order to sort of recreate symptoms of other types of disease, and is frequently used by smugglers and pirates to disable crew or to con them. It wasn't my idea. I'm not the captain of my expedition. I didn't take care of that. My job was just to go and get the gem, the egg, and bring it back to the ship and meet up with the fence and get rich. That was it. I didn't know I was doing anything else. Look, the egg was not a cultural artifact either. It was just down there. It was a slight misunderstanding. I was lied to, okay? I'm actually the victim here. Your scientists are going to wake up, but I'm going to end up in a Federation prison or at the end of a disruptor because of my crew being angry at me. Think about it.
Who is this crew? Do you have any names?
Oh,
Organizations?
well, yes, I have names, but I mean, on the off chance that they manage to rescue me from this, I don't feel inclined to rat them out just yet.
Let this faux doctor know, Taeyeon. He's really gonna want to rat. He's gonna want to roll like a skate. Because that's really the only way I can see, just from where I'm sitting of the engine, to get out of what seems to be mass assault with a bioweapon charges. Those carry a bit of a sentence.
Sprack's eyes widen at that legal jargon. Goes, no, wait, no. I don't. Is that the one that threw me around their shuttle thing that I was flying in? Listen, I had nothing to do with it. In fact, I'm willing to tell you the names of my accomplices now.
There we are.
You're very good at this.
I'm
Yes, go on.
The
listening.
The captain of the ship is named Niblet, and he is a very practical Ferengi. And the rest of the crew is really inconsequential. They're all just a bunch of, I don't know, which a good word that describes trash. They're just trash. They're trashy trash people. But they are all in it for just profit, not adventure.
Shouldn't be too much to give them up then.
If you'd like, I could maybe put you in contact with Niblet. I'm sure that Niblet would be more than happy to speak to you about this whole bioweapon thing that he engineered and violated numerous treaties, I'm sure.
And that you were an accessory to.
That I was happy to, once upon learning of this crime, turn him in for. To which I will happily take a pardon for. You're very welcome.
Taeyeon, have this Sprack. Oh, we should add fraud to the charges, not a doctor.
That is true.
No, I can't defend that one. That's valid. Yeah, I'm not a doctor. I've never, ever. Sorry, by the way. Sorry about that. You see the colonist's head is staring in shock, just going, "How do you live with yourself?" And Sprack goes, I don't know. I don't. My heart beating isn't a conscious thing. It just kind of happens, and I go along with it. I don't know what to tell you.
Profitably. But let's get all of the information we can get out of him, and then we can see how far down those charges might get knocked. I wouldn't anticipate a pardon anytime soon.
That's almost sassing out the question. Yes.
I mean, one accessory charge per. How many people got sick at this facility?
The colonist. The colonist head Naryu says, "Oh, right now we're at 22, so it's practically our entire science team, and they have been bedridden for 4 days. We had to call a Federation starship out here because we thought they were going to die. We quarantined the entire colony. Operations have stopped. You did this."
Oh, those sound like civil damages.
I will personally press charges if that's an option. Wait.
If I were Frankie, I'd be very afraid of someone going after my most holy assets.
Okay. You're all making very compelling arguments here, and I can see where you're coming from. And I want you all to know, each of you, and he puts his hand on yours, Taeyeon, and pats it, and he says, "I want you to know too that I empathize with what you're all going through right now. I know this has all been very upsetting. But let us just remember that we have discovered a new life form. and I was able to bring that to you. Now, before you go and name this lizard baby Sprack, we should discuss
the trafficking charges. You're right, because it's alive.
I did not traffic it because it was never removed from its original. Well, it was moved from its nest, but it never made it out. It never left. So there was no trafficking. It was like if it is beamed up to the transporter, to the transport ship, then maybe yes.
Sounds like a great argument to make at trial.
I don't think we need to do a trial. I'm sure we. You know what I could do? I could submit myself for civil service. And he turns to the colonist head and says, I tell you what, Naru, you let me stay here and be your resident Ferengi, and I will, sniff out in case anybody else wants to come and take advantage of this place, and there probably will be now, since they know that these large worm creatures are rare and have pretty eggs, and in return, you just let me, not rot in a shell, and I don't go on trial, and I hand you over my crew, Neeblet, who's probably a terrible person because he poisoned everyone, right? But not me. Also, you should note that if you look into my Federation file, you will see that I have a history of helping the Federation. It's true.
Get us into contact with this crew and we'll see what we can do.
Well, I don't know if that's going to be possible. The only person that would vouch for me is Orion, who I heard went AWOL. So I don't think that's good. But you know what? They had a first officer, a holographic first officer, who probably has a pretty big memory bank.
Okay. I suppose my request is still the same. We need to find out where this ship is. We scanned for them, but there's a blip of energy from them. We haven't really been finding them since they cloaked. Do you know where they'd be staying? If they've made it to on world, or would they stay on be in orbit? Or how would you have called them to beam you up?
With my communicator that was possibly destroyed on that flying death trap. But I was going to just signal to them and get beamed up. But then the transporter stopped working and I had to shuttle down. And that was a mistake. But thankfully, things seem to work out okay. There is going to be, right now, I'm going to throw this at you to Aeon. Because actually, Cadence, who's listening in, and Cadence, you would probably also be a candidate for this role.
Is it a role about
ships,
miscreants and crime? Oh, ships, yeah.
It's a role about ships. If we expanded that to people who are miscreants and flying those ships, then yeah. But
yes.
Yeah.
Then I would get. Then it would be -1 difficulty, of course.
Right.
The me trait.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to ask for. I'd say go ahead and make me. Well, Cadence, I think this is going to be a con check for you no matter what. And it would be for you as well, to Aeon. This is going to be a con check because this is this is kind of like your
whatever you're looking for.
Yeah, I think this would be this would be a reason con check.
That works.
And the difficulty is I'm going to set the difficulty at 1.
Okay.
What do you mean? Of course, I have my dice right here.
Set the difficulty at 1, and we'll see what happens.
Okay. That's 2 successes for me. Wait. Yes, 2 successes. I don't have anything here that would.
2 successes.
I might have another 2 if we assume any of my ship stuff falls in.
Oh yeah, tell me what your focuses are again. They might.
Flight control systems, small craft, TAC, Astronav, EVA, small craft engineer.
Small craft? You have small craft?
Yeah.
I'm gonna let that one count, even though it's kind of reverse, but I do think it would count. How about you, to Aeon? Do you have any?
I definitely don't have anything. Yeah. No.
Okay.
So that gets another 2 successes from me then.
Okay. So then go ahead and bank that momentum. Flying overhead, circling around in the Griffin, you kind of bunch up with the same facial expression that down about 800 feet below, where to Aeon is, y'all at the same moment kind of have the same moment of, wait a minute. Something doesn't add up here, because he did come down in a shuttle, a short-range Ferengi shuttle. The ship you detected in orbit was a Burrell-class bird of prey. Those do not have the capacity to house a Ferengi-class shuttle. That was an old bird of prey. They didn't have shuttlecraft.
Right. My first question had been about whether the Burrell class was in range of a larger craft as
Right.
well.
Yeah.
Something like that might have been able to have a carrier capacity.
Possibly, yeah. That's always a possibility. There could be another one out there. It's not sure, but there is something off. And your Starfleet officers would definitely sort of sniffing that out at this point.
Because of self-reliant, I have a bonus momentum for succeeding that role. And I think I want to make an information spend, but I don't know what question I want to ask. So I'm taking offers if anyone has ideas for questions to ask.
As you're thinking about this, Sprack is prattling on about somebody he could probably contact from the ship that he's done work with. And the colony head, Naryu, is like, you are in the jurisdiction of the Federation at this point. I'm going to be putting forth all the legal challenges in the world through that court. But as far as I'm concerned, you're in their custody. So making overtures to me, you are going to be placed under arrest, I'm certain. And you might have even violated treaties across boundaries. The compound that you used is outlawed in the Klingon Empire, in the Romulan Empire, and in the Federation, just among a few. Not the Gorn, though. Just wanted to point that out. The Gorn sniff it sometimes because it gives them a bit of a head rush. Anyway.
What ship did your shuttle come from? We detected a bird of prey, but from what we are aware, a bird of prey couldn't hold a
Sprack
like
reacts. A bird of prey?
Yes.
He didn't come in a bird of prey. You're in a transport ship. Klingon transport ship. Partok class, I believe. Old beat up piece of junk, but we managed to salvage a pirated old school cloaking system. It's not great, but gets the job done. If you saw a bird of prey up there, it's not me.
I think I'm usually letting this be known to. Now, this is an additional threat. Letting this be known to the captain.
It is, in fact, why I'm about to add one threat to the scene.
Above your head, you hear the burr of ship engines as my prior decision at the beginning of this scene pays off, and Cadence is gonna go start doing sweeps with and form up on their squad.
Yeah, if you're wondering what Cadence is doing right now, you all realize it before you hear anything else. You hear the breaking of the sound barrier as Cadence starts breaking into upper atmo and heading back along with the wingmate. So Cadence, you basically, Marceau anticipates exactly what you're doing and forms in right behind you and wordlessly just accelerates as the two of you begin to rocket towards the sky. The deep, beautiful blues begin to bleed away into the dark crystal black of space. And you see the brief moment of your heat shields lighting up in that vibrant orange as you start turning into a fireball before you finally break atmosphere. You see the beautiful sight of the USS Pride in orbit, reflecting the sunlight of this world and the light banking off of a setting sun on this ice world. but no sign of any other ships except for Griffin Wing, which is running sweeps right now.
Right.
As
I
you-
had them positioned
Mhm.
to cut off any escape vector for the position of the
It looks
device.
like the Griffin Wing is fluctuating a lot. It looks like in order to anticipate a possible
Yeah.
escape vector, what they're doing is they're constantly moving towards the aft of the Pride and just watching out for any possible ambush spots while they are sweeping across the upper part of the system. When you, as soon as you've broken Atmo and you come into visual range, you can hear over the comms. This is the gravelly voice of Devar. Just go, all right. You're back. Nothing to update with you here. How's everything planet side?
Well, apparently the shuttle that we found planet side came in on a Partok transport. Anyone who's a graduate of the Dominion War knows those don't come with their own cloaking devices. So, what is the big question of the hour? Ding, ding, ding. Where is the transport?
Wait a minute. Devar says, so they rigged a Klingon transport to cloak. What about? And before he can finish that sentence, you hear one of your other wingmates just go. Rulon pipes up and goes, well, "What about the bird of prey?"
So, based on Griffin 1 to Big Bird, the sensor sweep that you got earlier, did it reveal the type of cloaking device or the type of ship?
You can immediately you hear the acknowledgement as Zoe responds on the channels. Checking now, Commander. I cross-referenced the silhouette of the image of the sensor reading, and what I was able to detect using the sensors and the onboard computer is it would appear to have been a Burrell class bird of prey, an old decommissioned bird of prey. They haven't been in service in the Klingon Empire by any of the major houses, at least, for the past 60, 65 years.
And that's the hull, not the cloaking device.
Correct. I would need to get a little bit more of a scan in order to understand exactly what kind of cloaking device we were dealing with, and they would have to be uncloaked. But I was able to get some of the information that you were able to supply us. We are detecting what would appear to be residual tachyon particles, which is indicative of... Wait a minute. Sorry, Commander. Give me 1 second.
Absolutely.
I'm going over your sensor data again. It's strange, but typically, Commander, when there is a cloaked vessel out there, it's very difficult to detect the presence of residual radiation, but it is possible, as you demonstrated. But now I'm not detecting anything. It's possible that it left the area, but even if that were true, we would still be seeing residual emissions. I'll keep scanning.
Yeah, and if you don't mind passing that along to someone in science to try to get an analysis, get some explanation as to how that could happen.
Vrali, Planetside, who's listening into all of this, turns to the way team and goes, I'll head back to the ship. I think my job's done here anyway.
Sounds good.
Taps on the
I'll give her
comms.
a transport relay.
Okay.
Just
Taps
get
on the
her
comms, says,
that-
Pride, one to beam up. You see the curtain of energy just as the transporter takes them away.
Is
Right.
there anyone else that knows about your plans today other than your crew? Did you have any rivals? Anyone making a race towards this place other than you?
Oh, yeah, plenty of rivals. I mean, you don't get to be as good as I am without making a few enemies. You know what I mean? Like, there is jealousy all throughout the smuggling space. Believe me, people get real petty. We could talk about it sometime, maybe outside of a cell over tea. What do you call it? Pomik? No, that's a soup, isn't it? It's not a tea. You could drink it though, right? We could drink soup together. We can become
What
friends.
about his brother?
What's that sound? Friends?
No, thank you. But I
All right.
appreciate the offer.
You're very welcome. Maybe I'll try again later.
I heard from, I believe, Zoe that you have a brother.
His expression begins to become less jovial and says, biologically speaking, that is true.
Would he have known what was on this planet?
If my brother knew what was on this planet, then I would probably be dead, and the crew would also probably be dead. Scrag is not. I'm the Ferengi that everyone likes. Scrag is the Ferengi that people pay protection money to, or he takes things out of your body and displays them for other people.
So in no world would he have waited or let you do the dirty work and then taken it from you afterwards.
Unless he had some other plan in mind, but Sprack's also rotting in a prison right now, so I don't see that being a thing. Unless he's gotten out.
I don't think you've heard any news of that. I'm just trying to figure something out, because if you were not in that bird of prey, there is another ship out there.
That's scary. He looks at the sky.
And one thing to have a ship with a bunch of poachers on it is another to have one with a bunch of unknowns.
Almost on cue, you hear static suddenly coming from Sprack, who said that his comms was not on him. And Sprack, come in. Sprack. And Sprack goes, oh, I took a backup. Of course, because I was on a dangerous mission. You don't just take one comm device. I'm sorry. I completely forgot about that. I don't actually remember where I put it on me. Is it all right if I reach for places? I know people get kind of jumpy.
Allow me, and I'm going to search.
Okay. You give him a pat down. He goes, I could do that. It's not that big. Oh,
Nope,
okay.
nope, it's fine.
All right. All right. You pat him down. You find a couple of things on him. You find, yes, he has another communications device. It looks like he has a device that would enable site-to-site transport, but it does not look like it's functioning. You also see that he has a small handout, like a holdout type phaser. This is like a Federation phaser, which, by the way, illegal for anybody outside the Federation to have. That is only given to Starfleet officers, and it's one of those like handheld ones, tiny ones. He just goes, "Oh yeah, that was a gift. That was a gift from my friends on the Rosh.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, they were looking after me. They knew I was going to get up into shenanigans, trying to take down the criminal underworld on my own. So they were like, you know what? You should be armed with the best possible firepower." Oh, that tickles. Oh, you don't have to check there. And as you check there, you pull out a data pad, just pulling it right out from his trousers and holding it up and goes, "Oh, look, that's my livelihood. What do you know?" Sure enough, the data pad looks like it has account information and a topographic readout of the upper continent of this planet. Interestingly, though, as you glance at it, it does refer to the egg as a gemstone. It also refers to the egg as a mineral to be extracted, and that they grow and they form like pearls do inside of these ice caves. There's this whole incredibly pseudoscientific write-up. What you see on the datapad, it's clear that this isn't just a raid. It looks like this Ferengi that's up in this transport that's cloaked, Neeblet, is probably working for somebody or for hire, because the readout that you're reading does not, it looks like it was somebody that sent him this data and told him where to go to find the thing. But yeah, and there's a bunch of also various fake identifications built into this, and an alarming sight of what would appear to be the you find what would appear to be a log of Federation patrols in this sector and movements of Federation starships, as well as transports coming in and out of the area. But specifically, it looks like tracking Federation movements.
Oh, okay.
It smacks of somebody who listens to a police scanner, is what it looks like.
Yeah.
Somebody who's been given a lot of information about how to avoid getting pinched by the feds.
I'm going to take all of this into account when it comes to the judging of what happens next.
Well, sure, and that should happen because justice and all. But I would like to point out that there's more to where that came from, and whoever my lawyer is, if you happen to be standing nearby, I'm going to say that I'm willing to make a deal for a reduced sentence. We're getting ahead of ourselves, though.
The first step to making good, respond to the comms as if there's just been a slight setback.
Sure, yeah. Hello, Neeblit. How you doing? The comms go completely quiet. Sprack just stares at you like he's waiting for something. Then he goes, "Now, Neeblit. Now. Neeblit. Maybe it's broken. It's possible we're not getting a good signal out here. He just clearly didn't buy my ruse."
I'm gonna tap into, I think, maybe Commander Cadence and the Pride. I think it's something that they both help with.
Mhm.
We just got communication from Neeblet. It was very short. Do you think it was possible for you to get anything of the location of their ship from that?
Possibly. We just got our science officer back. Let me get back to you in just a moment.
Sounds good.
And so
I'll send any raw data that we have your way, Big Bird.
Hi, sir. Thank you. A few moments later, and you hear on the other end of the comms, "Brack, I don't remember. Is that the code word? Which one was it again?" "How you doing, Neeblet? How you doing? How are you doing? How's it going? How you do?" "Yes, it's the..."
Can I yank this communicator off?
Yeah, you yank it off.
I'll yank it off Sprack. I'll speak into it. This is Commander Taeon of the USS Pride. We are aware of what you've been doing with Sprack and the essential poaching, very illegal poaching you've caused, and the poisoning of many of the colonists on this planet. I advise you just turn yourself in and not make this a mess. There seems to be another ship on this planet that may be more dangerous than you and maybe the Pride itself. We don't want to waste time on you right now. Where are you?
There's a beat, and you hear, "I don't know who you are,
I
but..."
just introduced myself. I am Commander Taeon.
"You did do that. Well, I wasn't really paying attention. I got to the part where you said you should turn yourself in, and well, I had to step away because the crew started laughing, and I couldn't hear what I was trying to tell you. Tell you what, USS Pride person, why don't you keep our stupid captain, and we just take what we've got and leave?"
I strongly advise you not to do that.
"Sorry, can't hear you over the sounds of our warp engines queuing up. Bye-bye now."
I'll tap back into the Pride. Was that long enough?
That helps, yes. And with Griffin Wing out there, we might actually be able to detect the buildup of power in the warp nacelles. Stand by. As you go into standby, the head of the colony slowly turns and looks at Sprack and says, "Captain, He's trying to throw me under. What is that transport that you all use? He's trying to throw me under a wheeled transport. Okay. He's not. He's lying. He's a Ferengi. The moment of silence as everyone stares at him, and he goes, "I'm not lying. He's trying to. He knows we're screwed, and he's trying to. You see this, right? It's a play. He's playing you. He could have beamed me up, but he decided not to. Probably because he doesn't want to get a share of the gemstone, the egg, whatever it is.
Do you want to give up any more information on the person who just betrayed you?
Sure. Tell you what. Actually, yes. Do you have something to type something into here anywhere?
I'm sure we can use this data pad and I'll swipe to the notes equivalent.
Thank you. Yes, I need to be able to make a connection.
Would my tricorder be good enough? Something like that?
Maybe. If it can reach up, I need to connect. If I can connect with the mainframe, I can force him to decloak. And then you can grab your boys and just arrest the rest of those traitorous various names for bad people.
Yeah, I'm talking to you for this, but here, and I'll hand over my tricorder.
He looks at it like he doesn't know what it is and flips it open and goes, "Wow, this Federation, why does it flip open? Why, like, modernize, you know what I mean?" Starts immediately tapping on it. Go ahead and make an insight command check for me.
Okay. Insight command. If I do,
It's an opposed check.
Oh, okay. I'm definitely buying some stuff.
Okay.
How many momentum do we have right now?
We would have started with 2 because of the 2 of you. Was any momentum gained from the task that was done earlier?
1, and I think Sam gained 1 as well. We both got 2 successes.
Plus, we started with 2.
We started 2, so we'll be at 4 then.
4. If everyone's cool with it, can I buy 2 dice? So that'd be 3 momentum.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, that's really good. That is 5 successes.
I do want to point out that you also have other away team members here that you can activate if you spend aux points at any point.
True.
We've already rolled, but you can do that moving forward. Okay, so you got 5 successes? All right.
Yes.
1 sec. Now I've got to roll for Sprack. And I am spending threat.
Very fair.
Because of course I am. Okay, so let's see. 1, 2. How much am I about to spend here? Well, it doesn't want to get away. So 1, that's 1 second. 1, 2, that's 3. Yeah, I could do 3. Yeah, I'll just spend 3. All right, so I'm gonna buy 2 dice. I'll spend threat and buy some dice here. Okay, so oh yes, I'm buying 2 dice, so a total of 4. Oh my god. Y'all don't even know. You don't even know.
You don't.
His stats. You have to understand his stats when it comes to the ability to lie. He has an 11 presence. And he maxes out a 5 in command. And he has a focus in lying. Okay? And I just rolled a total of 4d20.
Yeah.
And I got 1 success.
Does that mean we get 4 momentum back?
Yes, because you beat the difficulty. So it doesn't take you long to see that he's trying to activate a remote transport as he's tapping on this tricorder. He just
yank it out of his hand like
where's the menu on this thing? You just want to yank it out of his hand. I was just trying to connect to the ship. How am I supposed to talk to them?
For a second, I thought I could trust you. I'm just gonna. We're just gonna beam you up into the brig.
You're not much of a
this is gonna be
Vulcan, are you?
easier.
You're kind of really easy to fool.
Would you like me to be more Vulcan-like, Brack?
He sees his reaction. He kind of points back and goes, normally I would say yes, because that would imply that you would be emotionless and non-violent, but somehow I think you mean the other thing. So I'm going to go with no.
I want to tap back in. Can we beam us back into the brig? I think we've gotten all the use we can out of him.
Zoe, you hear Zoe's voice come through the comms go, gladly, sir. And Spratt goes, Zoe? Uh-huh. You hear through comms. She starts to beam away just as he says, you see the blue curtain of energy just take him off planet as he is beamed directly into the brig of the USS Pride. Naryu says, thank you. Anything you need. If you need eyewitnesses or anything when he is prosecuted, just let me know. I will travel across the quadrant in a shuttlecraft big enough for one if I have to.
Glad we know your support on that. I think for now, until things are more clear about what exactly is going on, especially with this new ship that seems to be around, it might be best if you all stay indoors, stay in shelter until we let you know anything's changed.
Understood. I'm going to go get busy trying to help our friends in the sick bay. Doctor, and he looks over at the actual doctor, Dr. Davish. She says, indeed. I am frustrated that we don't have enough advanced medical equipment to detect these compounds, but then they are designed to be undetectable. I didn't realize we had such vulnerabilities. I shall see to this once. Doctor, I don't suppose you have time to help me. Dr. Conway says, I might, if we are quick about this. And Dr. Conway follows. The colony head turns back to you and the rest of the way team and just says, I don't know how to thank you. You seem to have managed to not only solve the issues with our scientists potentially dying and saving not only a vital element of the upper part of you've managed to solve a species that we were not even aware was here, and you managed to return its young to it. I thank you. One of the biggest fears we had when we started researching down here was we were scared that once we discovered there was a whole ecosystem below the ice layer, we thought maybe we had done irreparable damage. Now we realize we're just fleas on this animal. But it helps. Thank you for everything you've done. I hope this bird of prey isn't going to be an issue for you or us, for that matter.
No, it should be fine. We have eyes out, so it can't stay hidden for long. And best case scenario, it's left this planet a long while ago.
Indeed. Well, do keep us posted, and if you need anything else, feel free to contact us, and we'll be of any help we can.
Of course. And if you notice anything strange, let us know as well.
Well, thank you. Dr. Conway comes back almost immediately, and she says, they're already waking up.
Good news.
But we did get a sample of some of that goo we found on the egg that had crystallized, and this can be synthesized. I am very much looking forward to getting back to sickbay. Ready when you are.
I'm ready. Well, again, ask to beam us up.
Okay.
Upstairs.
Beaming back onto the Pride, you are immediately leaving this frigid atmosphere that bites at you and beaming back onto the transporter pad. The moment you appear on the transporter pad and feel the mild burn of the switched environments, like walking into the house after being out in the freezing cold and there's a fire going and your skin goes, ah! As you're beamed onto the transporter pad, the transporter kind of cheats a little bit, and as you guys are beamed onto the pad, your body temperature is regulated a little bit. But as you appear on the pad, immediately Zarya just goes, "Oh man, I need to spend more time on Ice Worlds. I missed that."
I did not enjoy it one bit. It's definitely not my climate.
She shakes some of the snow off of her EV suit as she steps down, and each of you heads out of the transporter room. At that point, up on the bridge, the captain orders the ship out of orbit and to fall into formation alongside Griffin Wing, as the Pride is now officially conducting a search pattern. As you return to the bridge, you arrive just in time to hear a lot of the bridge officers talking to each other and relaying information's coming out of the computer. You see a tactical display is already up on the main view screen, and swiveling in the chair, you see the captain. Hata looks at you and says, "Welcome back.
To be back.
Well done down on the planet. The Ferengi is in our hold and is enjoying a nice hot replicated meal."
I looked to Zoe. You need to tell us how exactly you know this Sprack. He is insufferable.
Zoe glances back over her shoulder at the ops station and looks to Captain Hata as if she's hoping that Hata is going to save her from having to explain this. But Hata, those large, black, curious eyes just gaze right back at Zoe. And she says, "Do you feel comfortable telling us?" And Zoe says, "Shore leave and I do I need to go on?"
No, that's fine.
But as you say that, you hear over at the science station, you hear Rivali go, "I mean, I want to hear more. That sounds hilarious. What did you guys date?" It wasn't a date. It was more of like it was imbibing. There was alcohol and yeah, fine. It was kind of a date, but it wasn't meant to be. It was like an on the spot thing. Quiet on the bridge.
I believe the word is fling. Tavian
Fling.
says, well, without looking up from her.
Fling.
from
Yes,
her
fling.
console.
It's kind of a fling. He can be very charming when he wants to be.
I believe that is a mark of a good con man.
Yeah. She sighs. If he
Apologies
wasn't calling
for
himself,
running into an ex.
he wasn't
I'm
calling
sure
himself.
that is awkward.
He wasn't calling himself doctor back then. He was a life coach. Raleigh says, "Sorry, what was that?" He was a life coach.
Mhm.
Zarya says, what is a wife coach? Life coach. He was what is a life coach? What is that?
Zoe's in the seat next to me, right?
Yes, Zoe at this point is now starting to look like she looks like she's feeling like she's being hazed at this point. She kind of turns back to the comms and goes, I'm just going to leave it at that. And we can move back into doing Starfleet things now.
Ensign, I could actually use your assistance here with this, and is going to like pass over some like the same document 4 times to her console. Like something that like we've already looked at, and is going to be like, "Would you look these over for me?" And it's going to just like slide like the same thing like 3 times just to make it look like I need her help with something.
Raleigh swivels back to their science station, just says, "That's fair. I've done stupid things too." With life coaches. that's weird. All right. So, search pattern is conducted. I'm going to have Cadence make another roll here. And who would like to, this is basically a sensor sweep to find out what the situation is.
Yeah, so I think we should do an auxiliary point about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
In which case, we're going to be activating a Raleigh for this.
Mhm.
And that means we're spending an aux point.
11.
It means we need to boot up a D20 roll here.
11. The number's 11.
11. Very good. Okay. Kato, thank you so much for that aux point. Kato, aka Kato.
Oh, Kato.
It's been a hot minute. I hope you're doing well. Okay, so this is going to be a sensor science check, but you guys are going to be able to use Griffin Wing to boost the hell out of this.
Yep. Yep. So I think we bring down the difficulty. I believe is
Yeah.
the sensors.
It drops the difficulty level considerably.
You're welcome.
This is going to be so you guys are going to try to detect a cloaked vessel. This is going to take us to.
Oh no, we're an extra d20 on the assist.
Okay. An extra D. Oh, right. It has an extra D. Oh, that's right. So the pride is going to roll 2d20 for this. Cool. So sensor operations, y'all are doing a reveal check. Difficulty of this is 3. So whoever's taking point on this is going to roll reason plus science. The ship is going to roll sensors plus science, but it gets to roll two dice. And
so it should be Raleigh who's taking point. And that's why we've activated her with the auxiliary point.
So I will roll for. Does anybody else want to roll for a volley, or would you like me to roll for a volley?
Go for it.
Okay. Who would like to roll for the pride?
I can take that.
All right.
Yeah.
So sensor science for the pride. All right, of Raleigh. Let's see what you got here. Raleigh specializes in sensors. So, spatial anomalies. No, I think of Raleigh is because I think of Raleigh's going to burn determination for this. Because was given an order and is going to be looking. So this is an opportunity to not only juice up. If y'all don't mind, Raleigh's going to go ahead and burn a determination for this and set one of those dice to a nat 1 this roll.
Okay.
So reason. Okay. So yeah, reason science. All right, cool. In which case, I'm going to do. Yeah, Raleigh's not messing around. Raleigh wants to find this person. Let's see. Application range, set the dice pool. All right. So the difficulty is 3. Let's see what. Already got 2 successes. Okay. So Raleigh is going to roll a total of 4 successes for Raleigh.
Add 2 because my rainbow die rolled a 1.
Okay. So 6 successes total on 3. So y'all gain.
Wait, you rolled for pride, right? Pride gets to roll 2 dice because of.
Because of
yeah, so you get to roll another
Oh
one.
yeah, you get to roll an additional die if you only rolled 1.
Rolling again. I forgot about that. That's an 11, I think, which is the number to hit. So 3 successes from the pride.
Okay. So that is a lot of momentum banked on a difficulty 3 roll. Nicely done. If you want to spend for information, you can, but you do in fact detect trace emissions that would indicate there is a cloaked vessel still within the zone.
We're running at least 2 floating momentum here, yeah?
I believe so.
I think we should run a trait on this, like on the trail.
Yeah. Like we're locked on.
Yep. Locked
Okay.
on, locked in.
Yeah, locked on, locked in.
I mean, you could easily say it's an old. I mean, Sprack did specify that it was an old cloaking device that had been installed on this transport ship. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that one of the reasons why it's easy to pick up on is the fact that,
like the like sees like we're an old ship seeking old ship.
yeah, basically, yeah. Okay,
what are we doing? A dating profile?
I guess so.
Yeah. Okay. What? Hold on. Sorry. Give me 1 second. What?
Only one.
Pause. GM is calling a pause for a second. What?
Pause.
What is happening here?
Roshi, can we borrow your
What the fuck
pause?
is happening here?
Is it the big message I sent in the Discord? Because that's for Eliza.
It might be. Hold on. I'm just trying to determine what is going on with. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. What?
Can we help with anything?
No, sorry. I'm seeing some anomalies here in some of the programs I'm using. Okay. Sorry about that.
Anomaly found.
Gotcha. Okay.
Everybody.
Okay. So what exactly were you you were trying to build a trait here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And we called it locked on, locked in.
Right. Or locked in.
Yeah, we did.
Okay, cool. All right, sweet. So then I'm going to go ahead and mark this down. And yes. Okay, cool. All right, we're working now. So the Pride begins to commit to a sensor sweep. And even though the Pride is not necessarily, she's a battleship that has been turned into a reserve fleet ship. She's not designed to go snooping around for cloaked vessels. She's designed to stand toe to toe with ships that try to throw down. And as you're all sweeping out there, that disadvantage is completely nullified by the fact that you've got some really good sensor suites flying out at point on the ship. As Griffin Wing falls in next to the USS Pride, you guys manage to detect a pretty strong cluster of radiation emissions coming from a specific area away from the world, moving at what appeared to be a maybe half impulse. And Zoe immediately pops up and says, "Got something." Nicely done, Avrali. Consistent with a ship traveling at half impulse. Putting it up on main view screen. Ata leans forward as the tactical display appears, and you all see the three-dimensional readout of the planet. You see a trajectory. This is all getting fed right into Griffin Wing. And Zoe just says, "I'm sending you navigational data now, feeding it to the helm. Positive ID check right in this sector here." And you see a very small space for a search pattern brought up on screen, where you see this big like heat bloom of radiation. It's maybe 30 seconds old.
All right. Well, that's my cue, isn't it? Let's go and get as close a look as we can. Maybe just bump fenders a little bit, shall we?
Okay. So you swoop over to that area with Griffin Wing. What would you like to do when you get over to that sector? Is there anything you'd like to do specifically before anything else happens? Since you've kind of got the reins on the scene at the moment.
Yeah, what I don't have is what the USS Pride has, which is a tractor beam. So, what I need to do is figure out how to get them off track.
Knew it. I was waiting for you to do it.
Is there any way to disrupt a cloak at all?
There are ways.
If I shoot the thing out of it.
I guess that's
Yeah, there are ways. Tachyon particles, actually saturating an area with tachyon particles is basically like
throwing flour for the
yeah, it's kind of the equivalent. I mean, in space is so incredibly vast, and you've got multiple dimensions all around your ship. The odds of spotting a cloaked vessel by throwing sand in the water is 1 in 100 trillion or something ridiculous like that. But tachyon particles dispersed over a wide area, you can saturate an area nearby to seriously raise the complications of cloak, and even in some cases, temporarily force someone to be visible. It doesn't nullify the cloak, but it might reveal.
My thought is that if it's an old cloaking device, if we can force them to drop it in some capacity, like, and they're in it was a transport vessel?
Actually, yes, you could. Hold on one sec. Yes, you could. 1 second. 1 second.
Okay, but only one.
I tell you what, if you want to research in the computer real fast to find out what you can learn about this bird of prey, you might be able to suss out how to do exactly what you are trying to do. Or the
are we
well, it's I say the bird of prey, but they're both old ships. They're both old cloaking devices. So so if you want to suss out how you might be able to force an older cloaking device to activate or to shut down or whatever, you can make a quick check on that.
I'll make a quick check, see if I can
And this would be
information to my sibling.
This is going to be a reason This would either be, I will allow a reason con or a reason security check on this. And the pride is going to have to roll computers. And I think, I think the pride's going to have to roll. I think the pride's going to roll computers engineering on this. I will.
Pride.
Yeah. Yeah. Computers engineering. I'll say computers engineering.
I don't think I have any focuses that are going to help here. I've got subspace theory, evasive maneuvers, warp drive, helm operations, Starfleet protocol, astronavigation, Excelsior expert. Unless Starfleet protocol can help me navigate the computer systems and are looking up stuff. Otherwise, I don't think I have anything.
Subspace warp. I mean, we are looking at interactions with a warp signature at the moment.
That is true.
1 second. Tap, 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 tap. Okay. Okay. Go ahead and make that roll.
Did any of those focuses?
Wait, I'm sorry. What were the focuses again?
We said maybe warp drive has something because we're dealing with like warp signatures. But
no, this is specifically dealing with a cloaking device.
My only other pitch was Starfleet protocol because I'm using Starfleet database. But
yeah, you're using Starfleet database. You know what? Yeah, no, it'd be the Pride computers. So yeah, I would say roll the Pride's computers and.
Okay, I'm gonna buy a die because we got a bunch.
Do it.
Okay, I'm gonna set the difficulty of this at 3.
Ooh, okay. It's 2 from me.
2
from the Pride.
All right.
1 from the Pride.
Yeah!
1 from the Pride.
Let's go.
There it is.
Okay. So as you're looking through the computer, you're trying to get as much information about old cloaking devices as possible to see if there's any way you can counteract that. And after some thorough searching, you see coming up in the computer database alongside Zoe, the two of you like scanning over a lot of the old files that the Federation has on Burrell class bird of prey, which again are decommissioned. Any old when you're using an old cloaking device of the Klingons, you're using an old Burrell bird of prey's cloaking device essentially. So any information you can find as it comes up on the computer, you see a reference to the Battle of Viridian 3. It happened years ago, 2371. Specifically, it was a very well-known fight because the USS Enterprise D engaged in a battle with a bird of prey over the skies of Viridian 3. Subsequently, being the Enterprise D was lost in that battle, but they managed to force a bird of prey to decloak. When you look to see what it was, apparently old bird of preys and old ships that use these old cloaking devices are usually susceptible to ionic pulses. In this case, an old bird of prey has faulty plasma coils. This old transport might be operating with the same kind of hardware, considering that it was able to adapt an old Burrell bird of prey cloaking device to the vessel itself. So emitting an ionic pulse could trigger a safety shutdown and cause the cloaking device to simply go offline.
Griffin Wing, I have some information that you might find something useful to do with. And I'm going to send basically the spark notes of what I've read.
Yeah, you get the summary
to Cadence's computer.
You get the summary in your HUD.
Okay, if it's what kind of pulse? Sorry?
Ionic pulse.
Okay.
Something you can just do.
What kind of.
All you got to do is spend a
odds.
point of momentum, and you can just make it so.
Cool. All right. Okay. Squad, ready for a synchronized ionic pulse. We're going to concentrate around the locus we last picked up, seemingly cloaked heat signature associated with warp, but I'd like to just get a little bit color outside those lines, make sure we get everything that we possibly could. So ready pulse on my mark.
You hear the captain on comms go, ready attractor beam, please.
Set. Mark.
Griffin Wing emits an ionic pulse. It's a flittering of energy on the front of the deflectors, those small little devices, just the very front of the Peregrine fighters. And it has this quick blinking effect. But subspace in front of all of you just ripples visibly for a moment. And then, sure enough, about 1,200 kilometers off your bow, you see materializing in front of you an old, beat-up Klingon transport. It looks like a hunk of junk in space. This thing is a scale 3 vessel, and looks like it is. It looks like it is a heavily modified. It doesn't have. You could, by heavily modified, it looks like the symbol of the Klingon Empire has been crudely scratched off of it and replaced with some kind of symbol. Somebody needs to work on their art. But as it materializes on comms, you immediately hear, we surrender, don't fire. We're powering down our engines.
If I can, I'll look to the captain to, may I?
Hata cranes her head and says, may you?
Answer.
Oh, of course. I think that would be most amusing.
Hello, this is Commander Taeon from the USS Pride. Like I said earlier, and I'm glad you finally listened. It was very wise of you to surrender.
Thank you. And sure enough, they shut down all their engines.
All right.
Just like that, you guys managed to capture. I was using the Blades in the Dark clock system to track if they were going to be able to slip away. Yeah. I had them it was not last minute. You guys were pretty quick on catching them. They did not get very far.
At least third to last minute.
Yeah.
They were slipping away. They could only slip away at low impulse because that's how much power that cloaking device was drawing on their ship. So they were going to leave system in about like 2 years at that speed. But
Okay.
but it might have been you guys might have given up your search at that point, and I think they were kind of banking on that. However, they are now being held by a tractor beam by a ship that is a scale larger than them and is built for battle. They surrender immediately. And when the ship is confiscated, I'll go ahead and give you guys a quick read up. First of all, this ship was reported stolen about 12 years ago. Apparently, it was not an active ship. It was stolen from a scrapyard, you've discovered. It was stolen under Sprack's name. Or I'm sorry, the ship was registered under Sprack's name as he was the captain. However, it does not have any it has multiple registry numbers, which is already like breaking laws in just about every governmental space in the alpha and beta quadrant. It also has been spotted. Federation database pulls up. It has also been spotted in numerous instances of theft and smuggling. It has appeared. However, you guys also do find that there is contraband on board.
No.
Lots of contraband on board. And you
Next, you're going to be telling me there's gambling in that establishment.
No gambling, but rather alarmingly, the accuracy of their information of the Federation's movements in the sector, a little alarming. How accurate it was. They were pulling this off. No one was out here. The Federation, you all know, because of everything that's happening in the galaxy right now, the Federation is stretched thin. And people like this are trying to take advantage and slip under the radar and do mischievous things because the Federation can't all be out, stopping this as it happens. That's where Reserve Fleet comes in. And apparently, Sprack and crew did not anticipate the Last Excelsior showing up. See what I did there? You take them all into custody, 12 of them in total. The crew is a mix mash of all different types, humans, a few Orions, mostly Ferengi. All of them basically try to blame Sprack. It was the captain's idea. The captain tried to make us do this. This is we were press ganged. We were kidnapped. Sprack is a pirate. He's bloodthirsty. He was trying to kill us all, and he made us promise to do this, and so on and so forth. It's never ending. The USS Pride is being a battleship. You do have a few more accommodations when it comes to holding a brig, having a brig to hold people. So Sprack gets a bunch of new friends, and all kinds of arguments break out as that happens. The Federation is alerted. Hata immediately informs Starbase, and you got here just as this was wrapping up. Basically, we have Eliza. You guys have managed to secure the fleeing Ferengi cloaked transport and take into custody all of the smugglers who were trying to swindle. And yeah, there's also a significant amount of that compound that was used to poison the scientists on board. There's at least 3 crates of Tithrian poison on board. And by 3 crates, I mean that's something close to like 800 kilograms of this stuff that's on board. Enough to pretty much knock out an entire city if it was like left over the atmosphere. This stuff, you don't even want to know where it was going. But if they were looking for a buyer or what, where they got this much is another matter. But they're done for. Sprack has got his own cell, and all kinds of arguments are breaking out. Sprack is trying to make a case for himself, though, that he has more information. If he is given a plea deal, he would be more than happy to discuss that. And he also continues to reference his contacts on board the USS Ross. He continues to insist that you should reach out to the crew of the USS Ross and that they will speak for him, that he is a Ferengi of character. I helped them. I helped them a lot. All the time, actually. Talk to the cat. Talk to the cat. She'll vouch for me. She likes plants as much as I do, and she's really nice. Or don't talk to Exio. Talk to the cat. Or maybe not Macrell. Actually, she kind of she just keeps saying yes, and it's really annoying. Wait, no, don't leave. I'm still. Sprack has nothing to offer. There is no trace or sign of that bird of prey.
I thought so.
There is just Zoe agonizing over it and starting to doubt herself. We're going to cut to what's up. You got something?
We've done this before.
What do you
Chip
mean?
memories, time memories. Can we cross-reference what we saw here in our computer to what we saw at the beginning of all of this when we got
Yes.
attacked?
Yes, you may. It is going to be because you only had the briefest of moments where you detected this thing. You were going to need to beat a pretty high difficulty. But yes, you may. So you can use the computer for the USS Pride again. The computer, I would say, because you have the data, that's in the system. In this case, I would allow computers plus engineering, or even a computers plus command, whoever wants to roll it, and for the Pride. And as a matter of departments for you, I'm going to probably call for a reason con check.
Okay.
Because it's literally trying to pinpoint a ship, a specific ship. You're trying to suss out from silhouettes and what you know of ship loadouts and such, Is it the
I just
same
wanna know if
vessel?
it's the same phenomena. Is it the
Yeah.
same ship? Is it
Yeah, do it.
You can get in. You can activate Avrali on this too if you wanted to spend
Yeah.
Aux point, because Avrali also
Mhm,
is a little hooked on this.
mhm.
And you guys have a system now for looking for anti-chronoton variants.
Exactly.
You guys come across
the
the Vax, then you might be able to. Okay, so spend that Aux point.
Mhm.
Somebody roll me a d20, if you would please.
7.
7. All right, 7. Who's that going to be? This is Crafty Geek. Thank you, Crafty
Thank
Geek,
you.
for that Aux point as we activate Avrali. And then we're going to fill in the captain of everything that's been going on. Okay, so Avrali is going to roll reason. It's going to be reason science chess. Avrali is basically taking everything that they have been studying about these variant antichronotons, and you guys have come a long way with that. So I am setting the difficulty of this at 5.
Mhm. Am I assisting Avrali, or is Avrali assist? What's how?
Avrali's going to assist you.
Okay,
You're taking point on this. So Avrali's going to roll the assist, and whoever wants to roll for pride. But
okay.
Avrali's already spent their value.
I'll roll for pride.
Okay.
All right.
yeah.
Sweet. So pride is going to be rolling, as I said, computers and oops. Computers and did I say engineering? Yeah. Computers engineering, but I would allow computers engineering. And then let's find out.
Didn't
how do
roll
we-
under
how do
13
we-
for that.
How do
What's
we
that?
feel about me spending 3 momentum to get 2 bonus dice?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, okay.
do it. Yeah.
And then you said reason con, Eric, for me?
Reason con.
Okay. And that's exciting because if it's a con roll and I've bought a die, I can re-roll. Okay.
And Raleigh.
Buying 2
Spatial anomalies. It's not really well, no, that would absolutely be a spatial anomaly. I'm going to say yes. Raleigh can use a focus here. And honestly, if Raleigh needs to Raleigh needs to get leveled up, so if Raleigh can take anti-chronoton variant particles as a focus.
As a focus, yeah. Okay.
So
Focuses subspace theory, evasive maneuvers, warp drive, helm operations, Starfleet protocol, astronavigation, Excelsior expert.
Yep, none of those going to come into play. And if Raleigh didn't roll any successes.
Shit. Okay.
So let's see how the pride did.
The pride rolled a 13, which
That's
I
one
don't-
success.
That's a
is it?
success.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I just opened the ship sheet. Okay.
Engineering is something the pride does quite well.
Oh, sweet.
I would like to burn determination.
Okay.
Or actually, no, that's what I can't.
If you don't have a value that could work, you could
I'm gonna use the mission. Our mission.
Hata could have given you an order to find out if this was the same thing, and that could be your value here to burn.
Hata did give you an order
Yeah.
There it
just
is.
now.
Just now.
Good. Okay. So that takes one of my dice and makes me crit. Oh,
Good luck.
I want this I want to know so bad.
Good luck.
Okay. 2, 3, 5 successes.
You're kidding.
And then 1 from the pride, so 6.
Wow. Okay.
That's good.
Nicely done. Okay.
A shout out to Cautious because I did roll a 20, re-rolled it, got an 8. So
Validating Sam Delev since 2016. All right. 5 successes. Oh man.
6
Raleigh-
with the pride.
At one point, Avrali stops and just starts watching you work as you're going through Federation databases and looking at hull imperfections, old ship catalogs of known vessels that were in the vicinity, but also cross-referencing from the ship that you guys first encountered when you were undergoing that rescue mission back in the day. As you're going through the data, you start narrowing the bandwidth. You start narrowing the parameters in which the USS Pride could try to identify this vessel. And you get a positive match. It was the exact same bird of prey that your tactical officer blew up one that was speared by phaser fire and torpedoes. And
Okay.
there's a 99% probable match that it's the exact same bird of prey.
Okay, then I immediately need to pull up records of what the pride was. The pride here has the pride been here before in this system in any our prior mission before us, before in the past 80 years.
That's an obtain information spin.
I had one bonus, one floating success. So yes, have we been here before?
The pride has never been stationed at this system before. Something is different this time. The pride has never been in this system. According to the Federation database, this world was only discovered about 12 years ago. And the first presence of the Federation in this system was a probe that was sent here 14 years ago. After a possible M-class planet was detected on long-range sensors. It turned out to be a false reading, and it was a different type planet. They sent a science vessel here. But no, Pride has never been into this part of the space. And Nevrali already has a very pronounced brow, being an Andorian, but you see their face bunch up because they don't like that. That doesn't make any sense. That was our thread. That was our through line. What's different?
Us?
Maybe us? But then what about us?
Remind me just off so that I have my information correct. The ship that we blew up was not the ship of the Klingons who got erased from history, right?
That's correct. Yeah, that's a different vessel.
Sure. Yeah.
And it's still not clear what their fate is.
Yeah, we haven't.
We don't know if they're erased from history, but they've been not.
Yeah,
seen.
we haven't been able to. Yeah. We've not been able to get in touch with them yet.
Yeah. But no, that ship you were talking about, the IKS Drovna, which is a Vorcha class battle cruiser.
Mm-hmm. I thought so, but I just want to make sure. Okay, what is different?
Big, beefy, terrifying weapons platform.
Were there any other in the Pride's history? Any other? Well, it's a long history. Of course, we've come into contact with other birds of prey. Just, I don't know how to make it make sense. And I think she says that out loud too, also to Avrali.
Avrali says, I don't know either. I mean, we blew it up and that was it again. So already we're breaking, norms a little bit.
We were already outside of time. This could have been an encounter that was prior even to our last one.
It's true. And we don't know the full extent of which this time echo can be, or how they're created, or it's, what's weird to me about all of this is that if this thing creates time echoes, what's the proximity? How do does somebody know we're here? If it's how is it working? I don't understand. Is this Romulan ship in system right now and trying to I want to know how these time echoes are forming. It's the same bird of prey, which has a history with the Pride. So what's the connection? How is it happening?
From Eliza, did you have an idea?
I can give you a quick briefing, Eliza.
Well, I was wondering off the back of that roll with I don't know if there was floating momentum from that, but
we did one spend, but we have more momentum we could spend for
you already
another
spent
Yeah,
information.
you can still spend for more information.
We have momentum to spend if you had a thought. Sorry, not to blow up your spot, but if you have an idea.
Yeah. Okay.
That's cool too. If you had one, I would have one too.
I didn't have one locked and loaded.
That's okay.
I feel like I'll think about it more.
Okay. Yeah, we've got momentum to spend.
Okay.
So okay.
But if we move on from this, then it's a roll again because
right.
Yeah.
Totally. Well, okay. I guess. All right. Let me
throw
just
paint at the canvas. It's Star Trek. Get wild. Yeah.
Yeah, I could just talk out a
Yeah.
question.
Totally.
So
That's what Raleigh's trying to do.
right. So this was, I'm imagining, and please also debrief me if I've got this wrong.
Sure.
There was some type of flash forward where you all saw Taeyeon. Sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. Is it Taeyeon?
Taeyeon, yeah.
Taeyeon.
Yeah.
Taeyeon.
You can have the pronounced gap or not.
I
Either
see.
works for
Okay.
Taeyeon, yeah.
I like Taeyeon. I'll say Taeyeon.
That's how I've always been saying it, so I hope I got it right.
Yeah, no, you got it.
Yeah.
So y'all, there was a flash forward where Taeyeon, you blew up a Klingon ship.
We saw like an echo through time that attacked.
Right.
A ship attacked us. We blew it up. We found out later it was actually like an echo
was-
through time. It wasn't like a flash forward or flash back. It was a ship that our ship had encountered many
Okay.
years ago, and I was calling
How
it like a
many
time
years ago?
memory, like the ship was experiencing a memory. That's not really what was
Cool.
happening, but like that is the last time we encountered this ship with no trace, which is why I was asking about it, because this ship that we
Right.
had that was cloaking, and then there was no trace afterwards. So that's why I wanted to look. So this, yeah, it's like it wasn't a we experienced a time jump. It was like time was happening to us like a second
Mhm.
time or something.
Yeah. Okay. But it's this ship now.
Yeah,
Was
it
the
was-
one from the time echo.
As far as we can tell, we're fairly positive somehow it's the same ship. It's another echo of the same ship.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I guess. Does this ship have any particular memory banks that maybe we could also cross-reference? Or any? This ship wouldn't have bioneural stuff, would it?
Yeah. No, I think
The Pride?
Mm-hmm.
No, the Pride's too old to be
Old-
blunt.
Yeah.
old
Okay.
Yeah,
girl.
she doesn't have the capacity to actually handle that kind of a computer system.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess my question for more
What about any of the
information would
Griffins?
be
What's that?
The Griffins were each individually redesigned.
Mm-hmm.
Some with some fairly hardy equipment. Any bioneural we on any of our ships we could donate.
Oh God.
Not on
Bioneural.
not on Biononos. No, unfortunately,
Okay,
the binaural
cool.
systems
All
are
right.
still pretty new. Yeah. So.
Okay. So maybe it's any other like ship-wide system that, I mean, y'all probably did this in the past though, like
You never know.
during these time echoes and stuff. But maybe it's worth just giving it another look, another search.
Yeah, because our standing theory up until now had been, we found out that the Pride, that fight that we got in was an encounter that the Pride had gotten in many years prior. So like that fight did happen. This was so that's why this is weird, is because there's no record of us of this ship ever having been in this system. So that like blows our theory kind of out of whack.
Have y'all talked about alternate dimensions, alternate universes?
Raleigh
Remember
pipes up at that point as y'all are kind of kicking. At this point, the bridge has become this sort of informal like huddle.
Yeah.
And Raleigh's leaning over in their chair and just going, well, there was the encounter with Carl. We did jump universes. And Carl did say a bunch of stuff about needing to correct the timeline and that there was a sentient Romulan ship out there that was trying to do bad things because of its former captain having some kind of weird agenda.
So in another timeline, the Pride encountered this ship here?
Well, Carl mentioned that, or was it the Romulan captain mentioned that the ship has the ability to pull echoes of time, or at least that's an artifact of something that it does, but it uses anti-chronoton variants to literally pull like echoes of moments in time to create sort of like form new scenarios. Literally could just kind of manifest other ships if it needed to.
Maybe we're thinking about the location too much. Maybe it's just this is an encounter that this ship has had with another ship, and doesn't matter the location in the galaxy. It's just we have faced this ship before, and so an echo can be brought into existence.
Maybe, but then the thing I'm hooked on is how does that work? Because like the way Carl made it sound like it makes it sound like this is something of a thing that the ship uses to manipulate things. Like the Romulan captain, it made it sound like that the ship was designed to be a weapon of war in time. And if it's able to pull other ships, like echoes of other ships, which allows it to basically form a small fleet or big fleet, or I don't know, fleets of ships or however many, or just one, but it can do that across time and not even change a timeline. It can just pull an echo of a thing from time. So what's the commonality? There's something we're missing. There's one thing in common with all of this. I'm overthinking it. I feel like it's staring us in the face.
Was it, excuse me, was it our ship that pulls the time echoes or the Romulan ship?
The Romulan ship. Yeah.
Hmm.
But the Pride is saturated with anti-chronoton
They are.
It's baked into the hull. So there's that.
Is it proximity to a Klingon vessel? That's the last time this happened. We found out later that the cloaked Klingon ship that got erased from history was watching us.
Ooh, that's an
Proximity
interesting
to a
thought.
Klingon vessel? There was a Klingon vessel nearby.
Well, how could we figure that out? Maybe I could do a scan of some kind?
Yes. I think that would be good. See if that ship is still lurking around.
I was talking about the transport that we have in our tractor beam.
Well, so, and the only reason I'm playing Avrali like this is because you've activated Avrali in the scene as
Yeah.
Avrali
But we
says,
could figure out if she's here.
your Klingon friend is here.
Yeah.
Avrali says, what I could do is find out if anything appeared on internal sensors when we first encountered the Klingons or the Klingon ship.
Did anything
Like, did the
different?
Pride, I don't know, fluctuate or emit something? Did we
still
do that?
monitoring? We're still monitoring our variant antichronotons. Maybe we can look at the
true.
moment of that.
And thanks to tech, we have the ability to catalog them a lot easier. We didn't have the technology to see them before. Now we've come so far. Let me see if I can do something with this. And Avrali swivels back over to the science station and begins immediately just rapidly typing away on the LCARs. I cannot make this for you guys. Y'all are going to have to do this yourselves. So somebody's going to have to pilot Avrali for this role. Don't have to take over for the scene, but someone's going to need to make a role here for Avrali. So this is going to be a reason science check. If anyone wants to assist, you can. It sounds to me like Tavine is assisting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think
Okay,
so.
What's Raleigh's number?
Avrali is 10 reason for science.
Okay. I'll buy a die for him, shall I?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Oh my, that's so funny. 666.
You rolled 3 6s on 3d20s?
That's crazy.
Has that ever happened? I don't think that's ever happened.
In the
all
world?
I think I thought I rolled. I think there were like 2 games ago where I thought I rolled, but one of them was like a 9, and I was like, "Oh God!" I was about to be
I
haunted.
think I did one.
You did
I
one,
think
yeah.
I did once for like
In all the years we've played
combat thing.
Star Wars.
I mean,
On
we
every
don't
game
often
I've ever
roll
played, I don't-
3d20 as
3d20s
like a number.
and 3 6s. The odds are
That's
astronomical.
Wow.
That's amazing. Okay.
Let's see, it's
Is someone
So
going to get the
One in
pride
800.
assist?
The difficulty
Right.
of this is going to be 5 because but yeah, go ahead and so you got 3 6s. That's going to
Check
trigger
3 successes on.
that's going to trigger Avrali's focus of sensors, right?
No, because 6.
Oh,
is,
because it's
five.
it's a 4 science. Yeah.
5
So no,
maximum.
you rolled
I can
just
roll for-
over
I
it. So
can
you
roll
got
for
3
pride.
successes. You need 2 more successes.
I can roll for pride.
Roll for pride. You need 2 successes.
1 from me.
You need 1 success from the Pride.
I rolled a 9 for Pride.
Well, y'all managed to
yeah.
fight your way to 5 successes.
Let's go.
Wow.
I hit
That's
my number
two-
exactly. So
That is 2 rolls tonight where you guys hit max difficulty. 2 rolls. Okay, so you are seeing the information coming through in real time. The first time ever, you guys have a moment where you encountered one of these ghosts, because you haven't encountered one since the initial battle. It's been since you guys left Space Dock during your first mission where you rescued that crew. And as you're scanning, Avrali is not only looking outside the ship, but you can see Avrali is also looking at all the sensors log for internal sensors, because it is standard issue to have internal sensors constantly going to checking on the welfare of the crew and such. It is because of this thoroughness that after all this time, for the very first time ever, you and Avrali, up on the main view screen, you can all see it. You can see it too, Captain, up on the main view screen. The moment that bird of prey is detected, there is a less than 2 millisecond pulse detected of anti-chronoton variants inside the USS Pride. You see the blueprints of the Pride. Immediately, Avrali gasps and puts it up on the main view screen and starts going through like deck by deck by deck to try to find out where the pulse was. And you can see the computer is searching and searching and searching and searching. If you want to know, I'm going to ask for an obtain information spend if you want to know anything more.
I think we've got the momentum for it,
I
right?
think we have
Yeah.
one momentum in my
Yeah.
count.
Okay.
Let's use it.
So you burn your very last momentum.
When you say it like that, it's fine.
Then I say yes.
Yes.
Yeah. The scan stops just as it reaches deck 9. You glance at it for a moment, and Avrali slowly looks over at you because they don't look like they understand what it is they're seeing. It's coming from the galley.
That anti-chronoton pulse came from the galley?
Avrali looks back at you and says, if the internal sensors are telling us the truth, then it
We
looks
pinpoint-
like there was a sudden surge less than 2 milliseconds from the galley.
Can we pinpoint where in the galley?
We'd have to go down there with hand tricorders, scan it ourselves.
Captain?
Would you? I think you two should do that then.
Commander Pavin, this is the bridge. Go for Pavin. Could you do me a favor and get an engineering team into the Jeffries tube? I'm just curious. The junction point where we first discovered the saturation moment of anti-chronoton particles, could you get somebody down there to scan that and just be on standby for me? Sure. Yeah, not a problem. Thank you. Let's get down there. Avrali turns.
Commander to Aeon, would you mind terribly going with them?
Oh, of course.
Thank you.
Don't want anything untoward happening.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. You guys all cluster into the turbo lift. And then you hear a chirping sound as communications tap into Griffin Wing, which I suspect is probably landing in the main cargo bay at this point.
Yep.
After all of the as you're landing, Peaches is currently just moving about the Griffin and scanning it, as Peaches always does, constantly looking to make sure, like, It's somebody going. It's quick maintenance, basically, over your craft. And Peaches is just like scanning it when the chirp comes in, and you hear Avali go, "Commander, this is
Yep.
Avali.
What do you got, Raleigh?
I just wanted to kind of bring you up to speed on something that's happening right now," and does a very concise info dump right there of like what they've discovered and that they believe that the bird of prey that you all spotted was an echo and so on. About a minute worth of fast talking and you are brought up to speed. And Raleigh says, "We're headed towards the galley right now."
Chief, you can take care of giving this girl a car wash. I gotta get to deck 9.
Chief is currently, it looks like Chief is chewing on maybe a ration pack out of this like bright, like crunchy silver wrapping. And he goes, "Yeah, sure." And just doesn't really acknowledge you as Peaches bumps into him. And Peaches turns and says, "Please watch where you're going, Chief." And moves past and goes, "Hey, I was standing here." And you just rush out of the hangar and bolt down the corridor. Everyone seeing the XO making moves. The crew makes a hole. You bolt right towards the turbo lift and get inside. Basically, a few moments later, you all converge on deck 9. Deck 9 is just underneath the starboard computer core. Hollow suites are on deck 8. To give you an idea of where you are, just underneath deck 9 is the main port and starboard shuttle bay. So as you guys rush out, the galley down here, this is where the galley that has just recently been opened and is making real food. You all see each other approaching, literally coming from both sides of the main corridor, approaching the galley. You're all seeing
Can I
each
get
other.
a real quick check? Is this a new scene?
It is a new scene.
2 momentum in the pool.
I'd also like to, can I declare that after about 5 minutes, I think I'm going to follow after them.
Okay.
Just feeling
you should
this
be with
feels
us.
important.
You just, Hata's sitting there with like steepled hands and just suddenly goes, "Ensign Zoe, you have the con." You get up.
Yeah, I'm just
and-
like, I gotta get out of here.
and
What
the
am I
ensign
doing?
goes, I, sir. Looking a little
don't
nervous.
blow anything up. Just kidding.
And the doors, just kidding. The turbo doors close. While this is all happening, Zoe has her moment as she sits in the center chair for the very first time in her career, since leaving the academy. She slides into the chair, and a few of the other ensigns on the bridge smile at her as they go back to her. They go back to their jobs, and Zoe just smiles and says, "Maintain course and speed." Always wanted to say that. Galley door is open. There's a couple of people in here. You see a couple of officers having a conversation, and you see your cook, of course. Westsalt's down here having a very jovial conversation with a few of the officers. He turns as he's in the middle of mixing something up in a bowl and spots all of you, as well as some of the officers, and big smile on his face, and then a little bit of confusion as he sees all of you kind of step into the galley at the same time. He goes, "Well, hello. Alpha shift isn't over yet. This is a surprise. Tell me the captain's let you off duty a little bit early so that you could test out something I'm working on." And he holds up a bowl.
Less
Food
concerned about
tasting.
alpha shift. More concerned about alpha particles.
Particles?
Someone give scan?
Yep. I mean, hi, Commander. And Raleigh goes back to scanning. Westsalt looks around and goes, "What? Sorry, particles? There's particles? It's not going to affect the food, is it?"
Unclear, but we'll report back.
If it does, it probably already has, and everyone seems to be enjoying the food, so I don't think you have anything to worry about.
Okay.
I mean, it could be like when you're cooking at elevation and the amount of time to bake something. I mean, clearly.
Like going
it's
into semantics of
time.
things to just stress them out even more. I think just you don't need to worry.
Should we leave? Do we need to vacate while y'all do this? And immediately, Raleigh says, "No, everything needs to stay exactly the way it is right now. Nobody leave, nobody move. I mean, you can move, but just don't leave." Okay. Can can I get any of y'all something to eat or drink? Since you're down here, you might as well taste some of the stuff that I've been working on. I mean, you can multitask. You can eat and work.
I'm not going to say no
Sabine
to
kind
that.
of like leans over and says, "What's new?"
I've been working on pastries. Okay, so let me see what I got. And at that moment, the doors open up, and Captain Hata walks in, and a few of the officers smiling at each other see the captain walk in and immediately go to attention.
Captain?
Hello, Eddie's. Oh, sorry.
They immediately relax.
Knocked over a bowl. I hope that wasn't important. Right.
Wesot says, "Oh no, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yep.
I can clean that up."
Did they catch you up on what's happening?
Me?
Yes.
Just that there apparently there are particles, which
Yes.
I hear space is full of them. So
Yes, it is.
okay. The scan continues. If you were willing to spend, no, actually, at this point, Raleigh continues the scan. I think you would need to spend an aux point to activate.
Yes, it's a new scene. Yeah.
All right, so
Activate for sure.
Go ahead and roll a d20.
20.
20. Thank you, Leo Ambermain, for that aux point.
Thank you.
Yeah, y'all are being thorough, moving around, scanning. And Raleigh says, "This is going to take a minute. Just act natural, I guess. Go do whatever you're doing."
Yeah, I'm
Will
grab some
numbers help if we all scan,
Okay.
or it's the thing where just the experts should get involved here with Raleigh?
What? I'm sorry. Raleigh looks up.
Sorry, no. Is this a situation where numbers might help if I get my tricorder out and start scanning? Would that help at all, or is this a situation where just the experts should handle
Raleigh
things?
shakes their head and says, "I'm pretty much tapped into the main computer right now with internal sensors and this tricorder. I'm just waiting for Pavin to. I need to know what the commander's team is finding in the Jeffries tube. Sorry, I need to go back to focusing on this."
I would like to just take a look around and see who's in here.
A couple of aux crew members, it looks like they were in the middle of their shift break.
Are they sitting
on lunch?
together? Like
They were
two
all
of them?
clustered. Yeah, they were clustered around the bar area.
Okay.
So, but right now they've stiffened up a little, but they're not acting quite as casual now that the captain is here. But they are still milling about.
Okay. And then of the people who work in the galley, it's Wesot.
Wesot. Yeah.
Wesot.
Yedib Wesot.
And then who else?
That's
Or
it.
how many other? Okay. All right.
Yeah, it's just Yedib
Okay.
Wesot.
Just a few people.
Yeah.
You all see your captain kind of like put her like spindly sea creature arms behind her back
Mm.
and like hunch down a little, doing a little bit of a Sherlock Holmes thing, maybe. It's
Okay.
very weird. You haven't seen her do this before. And she kind of is like just walking back and forth, looking around. And I'm gonna ask Wesot, has anyone left here in the past, say, 10 minutes?
10 minutes.
Or come
No.
in and then left?
When did you get here, Ensign? Ensign says, "I've been here for about 15, maybe 20 minutes."
Okay.
Can we pull up the timestamp and like ask about that period of time of that
Mhm.
of the flare, basically?
Where were you on the day?
Yeah,
of-
exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Flare
Like,
went off.
did
Okay.
anyone come or go, or did anything change at this timestamp? Basically,
Exactly.
Okay. Do me a favor. I need whoever would like to,
Hmm?
which I'm guessing is going to be all of you. But I'm going to require, I need a roll here. I need a presence command check. Or no, an insight command check.
Word. Absolutely.
And difficulty is standard 1 because it's a contested roll.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
I rolled a crit, so that's 2 successes for me.
Okie dokie.
I believe this is one of my lowest number combinations.
Same.
Oh, I got a 1 though.
Okay.
Oh, snap.
And then I got and then the other one also was my numbers. I got 3.
Oh wait, I can roll
Successes.
2. Let me hold on.
3 successes.
Oh my God.
Never mind.
Okay.
I rolled a 19 on the second one. There's 2 successes.
Wow.
My number is 8, and I rolled an 8 and a 1.
Wow.
I got double 3s. We are magic numbers tonight.
Wow. Wow.
When
How
I
about
rolled double for
Caden?
the pride earlier, I got 1 and 11. So as many
One
ones
success?
as you can.
Wow.
So among you, who had the highest success?
Caitlin.
Caitlin
think
did.
it's Caitlin. Yeah.
So
Unless I use a focus, which I don't
Oh.
think.
Well, as you do have command stuff. You have like insight, right?
I have logic puzzles, toxicology, aquatic. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think anything.
Yeah.
okay, one
So,
second.
Caitlin.
Well, you also have 3s. That's
I'm gonna buy.
I have 2 3s.
2 3s. Okay.
So yeah. Non-focused.
I'm
3s.
gonna spend threat here to buy some d20s.
I too am
Oh,
not
dear.
always focused.
I'm actually gonna burn the
Well,
because
thank
we're
you.
at. I'm gonna burn the last of my threat for the game session. I'm at 0 threat. I'm gonna buy
Ooh.
2.
Oh.
It's gonna
Which
take
means
us.
you've been spending threat.
Oh yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How many successes did you get, Caitlin? 3. And you, Lisa, how much did
2.
Hata get? 2. And how did you do to Aeon?
I only got 2.
I got 2. And and Sam, Caden's got 1.
Correct.
Okay.
Pretty insightful.
Oh, I need to roll for Avrali.
Oh.
Avrali is in the scene as well and is actively.
Activated.
Sam, would you mind rolling for Avrali? I'll give you the numbers.
Sure.
So this is insight.
welcome.
Insight is not Vrali's strong suit. What'd you get?
A gift for you personally, Eric Campbell.
Ah.
Did you give me a complication? Thank you, Avrali.
2 and a complication.
Oh.
I suspect they do not have focuses to this effect, so that will be another 1 success. But I do all right.
A
by you.
complication. Yeah.
Okay.
Don't say I
so
did nothing for you.
3. Okay. So. Oh right. Yeah. Because of. Okay. So, as the scan continues to persist, Pavan gets on the comms. You hear your chief engineer go, okay, we're down here in the Jeffries tube. We're near the panel, the junction point where we spotted the, where I should say, where Devine first found the chronoton particles, the anti-chronoton particles. What are we doing? What are we looking for here? Devine, there's a briefest of moment that you catch, and it's subtle, but it stands out because it's so contradictory to everything you've seen from behavior-wise. But Wesot looks nervous. For a brief moment, when he overhears Pavan mention anti-chronoton particles, what am I looking for? He glances at the room to watch Avrali making a scan, like it's clicking what you guys are looking for. And there's this, you see a moment in his eyes that lasts maybe a second, where his eyes widen for briefest of moments. And then he just goes back to his food.
Tavine is going to just, amidst her wander, if she happens to end up in between the eye line of Wesot and Ivrali, then that's where she ends up. But she's gonna keep an eye on how he reacts to whatever comes next.
Okay. What is coming next?
Well, Pavan asked Ivrali what he should be looking for.
You're waiting for the answer?
Mm-hmm.
Avrali just says, so we detected a spike of the anti-chronoton variants. And it's the first time we've ever actually been able to detect a spike internally, because we had an encounter with the ghost bird of prey, and Pavan goes, we did? And Westlot goes, wait, you did? The one that was outside of our ship when you guys were rescuing us? Anyway, yes, we're trying to figure out why it happened because the Pride's never been here before, and the running theory has always been that when the ghosts appear, it's because we're sort of tracing back our steps, and there's echoes of time happening and all that stuff that we went over 1,000 times. So we're just trying to figure out what the through line is. I wanted you to look at internal sensors and find out if you saw any spikes in the junction point, because that's kind of like where everything happened when this whole thing started. Okay, yeah. Let me see what I can find here. Hold on a second. Running a scan right now. I'm triangulating here. I'm gonna coordinate with the sensors from. Can you give me a time frame? Send that data over to me. And Volley just taps away on the tricorder. All the while, Wesot's starting to look a little troubled to you. Tavine. He looks worried now. It's gone from like anxiety to like concern, like genuine concern. Like, okay, data's coming in. Oh, interesting. Yes, there was a spike here. It looks like there was a fluctuation. Really subtle though. Wow. And what's interesting is it looks like there was a pulse throughout the entire vessel, like something. I don't know how to describe it. Like if the entire ship was a power cord, and for a brief second, the entire ship just became fused with energy, like a water gun almost. Think of it like that. Because remember, this is keyed into the plasma conduits on board the ship. So for a brief second, and I mean brief, it couldn't have been more than maybe a millisecond or two. It looks like the entire Pride was charged up. And it looks like the anti-chronotons reacted.
Reacted.
I'm no expert when it comes to this stuff, but if there's a pulse, it's usually a center point, right?
Yeah, there's usually a, physics and all. It's got to be a cause and effect kind of thing. And of course, we're talking about time. There is a scenario in which effect can follow cause or precede cause, but that's where we're getting into like faster than light travel, which we're guilty of doing. But inside warp bubbles, that shouldn't be a problem. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting off topic here. The point is that there should be a flashpoint here, something that caused this.
And do we have access to Ivrali's initial scans from before we came down here?
Yeah, sure do.
With those scans, like, and since we're down here, Tavine's question from earlier, which was, can you narrow it down in the galley? Like, can we zoom in further? Like, or is this like CT footage where at a certain point you're not going to get any more information?
Yeah, it's zooming in even more so is tricky because you're reaching the end of how far your scans are going to take you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's time to look at other leads or other things.
Tavine will sidle up to Cadence.
Yeah. Oh God.
Our chef seems troubled by our current investigation.
Yeah, there's particles.
More about our investigation into the particles. Eat Mike. More about our investigation into the particles. Would you check my work, I suppose?
Cadence slides over the counter, wraps their arm around him.
Over around Wesot.
So tell me, buddy, what's got you so anxious about these particles? I can see right there on your face. It's obvious to me. I mean, I'd hazard to say a Vulcan could figure it
out. Are you attempting to sort of, is this an intimidation check or is this hey, I'm
Why do
looking
I have
at
to put a label on it?
because I want to know what this is me
Intent.
asking your approach.
I mean,
'Cause you're gonna roll here.
Receive it how you've received it. I don't know what to tell. Like, however you
Sure.
take that energy, right?
In which
like,
Trying
case-
to coax
real
coax
life,
reaction.
I don't get to put a label on like impact versus intent, right?
How does Wesot receive that? Basically, I think
we'll
I would
find
say
out.
I would say it's a presence command check to see how he receives that.
I'm pretty sure it was gonna be, yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's too much my leadership. So like, what does it really matter what it is? Yeah. Let's. I have a. You know what? A little bad influence is good for you. You need to use that value.
Okay.
Yes.
Calling upon some determination.
Yep.
And I believe we still have 2 momentum if you'd like to buy a die.
And that comes back to me. Thank you, veteran. Sure, yeah. Let's go for it. Let's run a score a little bit.
Okay.
Presence command.
So the difficulty of this is it's gonna be a contested roll here. Y'all are doing pretty good on these rolls.
All right, so that's a total of 4.
Okay. That's a juicy. I've got one
and we
threat.
get 1 momentum back to the group pool from being a pitiful human.
All right.
The human abilities.
Awesome.
Dog, but you know, there we are.
Like it.
It's one little dog paddling in the momentum pool.
I do have 1 threat thanks to Sam, so I'm gonna burn that to get an extra die here.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the biggest stat pool I've ever had for an NPC, and he only rolled 2 successes.
That's fewer.
That's fewer. I rolled
So we
a 5, a 19, and a 15.
I have more.
Wesot smiles at you and goes, "Hi." Never intended to hurt anyone.
I know you didn't. But I need you to tell me what's going on. Or maybe you will end up hurting someone. And neither of us wants that.
The other ensigns in the room look at each other and then look back at Wesot.
I've still got my arm.
Wesot sets down the bowl. You see him put down 1 more helping of some of the mashed, like potato-like substance onto their plate and says, "You should eat that before it gets cold." And he sets the bowl down. I was worried. I don't know. I don't want to lose your friendships.
That's the least of our worries right now.
But not mine. My name is not Yedib Wesot. That was the captain of the vessel who died before I arrived. He was a good man trying to save his crew. I took his form. And you rescued me. You rescued me, but not me.
So get trapped on the wrong side of the wormhole or what?
More like the wrong side of time. I'm sorry, Captain, what I've done to the Pride. I didn't mean to. It was a side effect of my arrival. I needed a source in order to anchor myself, or I would dissipate. I needed a new computer core. I had to lash myself onto your plasma conduits. And the resulting saturation of your hull in antichronotons was a result of that, and I apologize. I knew that it was a likely outcome, but I didn't think it would have the effects on your crew that it had.
What do you call yourself?
I don't really have a name. There was a name given to me, us, when we were first created. I hate the name.
Do you
But
like
it's-
Wesot?
I do, but I've always been a bit conflicted about taking another man's name and identity. I enjoyed being Wesot. I was able to imprint his mannerisms, personalities, psychology. He was a good man. A bit in over his head, but he died for his crew. And tried to believe that I was helping him live on by taking his identity like I did. But I had to, or else the ship you were looking for. I am that ship. Or at least I'm part of that ship.
And you couldn't tell us because...
I couldn't be certain how it would affect the timeline. It would jeopardize so much. We were designed to be a weapon of war, and I was certain that if you were to learn about what I am, it would corrupt the timeline somehow. But at this point, suppose it's well past that. At this point, one of the ensigns says, "I'm sorry, Captain, should we be here during this?"
Yes, you can be here for this. We are all just learning this at the same time.
Wesot says, "At least finish your food. I just made that. It's going to get cold, so eat up."
Captain, I believe that they may be asking for permission to leave.
Oh,
Eat your mic.
Captain, they may be asking permission to leave.
Me? No. I'm asking permission to stay, if anything.
I stand
the
corrected.
ensigns. I turn to the ensigns and say, "Oh,
the ensigns want to leave. Yeah, they're like, are we okay to be here? Because we're fine staying, Captain. But
if you want
like...
to leave, you may leave. But
no,
please do not repeat what you heard here just now, until there will be a debriefing, I'm sure. But yes, you may go if you want, if that's what you meant."
Yock's crew look at each other and go, "No, we're good. We'll stay."
All right. What can we call you? What are you comfortable being called?
I guess Wesot for now would be fine.
All right.
All right, for now.
Wesot, are you in danger? Is that why you have stayed here and have been hiding?
He looks at you with a unmasked swell of sympathy for himself and says, "Yes. You see, the ship that you're looking for, it was created by the Romulan you encountered. Well, it was captained by the Romulan you encountered. But the Romulans who created it in my time call it the Unsung. The entire ship's purpose was to move through time undetectable and alter the timeline, as you well know. But this has had unintended consequences, as our very misguided captain learned for herself. Those consequences is that it opened fractures in reality, where multiple versions of things that are happening all at once. The weapon utilized on me is something that pulls echoes through time, and sometimes from alternate universes, sort of like a manifestation of things. It's done through programmable matter, which is a technology that exists in my time. Programmable matter is, of course, saturated with antichronoton variants, which allows me to do what I do. I am essentially the molecules in your hull, for lack of a better way of saying it, and I'm being projected by the programmable matter that has now infused itself in the molecules of your hull. If the pride dies, I die. At this point, there's no going back. I've taken a couple of different forms, but this was the one that I was able to escape into. But my former, I don't even know exactly how to call it. It would be accurate to say my brain, my original consciousness. I am not the only version of AI intelligence that is manifested on the vessel. There was a battle for the mind of the ship. It was a civil war. And it got out of control. Multiple versions of me began to manifest and attempt to override the other versions of me. And it snowballed. First there was 20, then there was 40,000. Just kept going. And eventually, a few of them were brutally efficient at creating new algorithms to absorb others into themselves. I didn't want to fight. I don't know what my universe was like, but I know what I'm like. I didn't want to hurt anyone, which left me at a significant evolutionary disadvantage. So I fled. And I may have caused the rupture and destruction of that transport that you rescued. The resulting energy from my deep space transport act of fleeing my own mind, my own platform, my brain, it triggered a response. And suddenly, I was pulling from things that existed in that star system that didn't exist. In this case, old Romulan mines that should have been not there, bird of prey that the Pride had encountered, and transport wasn't strong enough to hold a life form of my complexity, and it ruptured fields around main engines, which caused the ship to drift into one of the echoes of Romulan plasma mines.
Of course. Why not? No. Yes, please.
I thought we were all going to die. I tried to help as best I could. Wesot panicked when he first saw me in my true form. I tried to explain to him what was happening, but there was no time to speak. The ship was being destroyed. He sent out the SOS. And then the console blew. There was no way I could save him. My other fractures, my other consciousnesses on the unsung, that which is me, they need me back in order to complete the circuit, as it would. Once that happens, he'll be able to carry out the original plan, which is what I have been trying to prevent. Not only my death, but to ensure that something terrible that was never supposed to happen in the first place doesn't happen. The Hobus star is never meant to explode.
What does meant to even mean?
It's an unnatural occurrent event that is the product of a temporal war. And I am the cause of it, unless the unsung does not reclaim me.
Is there a way to hide you?
There was, but
We found you.
It was that or die. And it's only a matter of time before the rest of me finds me. But there's also something else in play here that you should all know. Without me, the rest of me is incapable of functioning at full capacity. It's imagine missing a piece of your brain. It would be difficult to fulfill certain functions. And in this case, there would be system degradation. My plan is to remain away long enough that the rest of me would just die. I don't think that's going to happen, though. The reason why the bird of prey appeared, Captain, friends, is because whenever the rest of me is searching, seeking, when I'm spotted, it's like a ping. It's like a sonar ping. And I have to go deeper into hiding. It causes disruptions in the antichronotons and it causes echoes to appear. In this case, a ship that the Pride has already fought. That was my fault, by the way. And I'm sorry. I couldn't have known that the Pride was going to... I didn't have access to my full database. I didn't understand what would happen when I first fused myself with the Pride.
The Klingon ship. The I can't think of the
IKS Drovna.
The Drovna. The Drovna. Do you know how to help them?
Yes.
You know how to find them?
Yes.
Maybe we start there.
There are things you should know.
There are always.
Helping the Drovna would likely mean my death, as it would require me to transfer myself, fuse with the Drovna. And
that couldn't sustain you?
I'm fused with the Pride at this point. I'm part of the systems. If I were to leave the system now, I don't know how much of an integrity of the program would remain. The other thing is finding the Drovna is possible, but it's also possible that in finding the Drovna, I might inadvertently alert the Unsung to where I am. But it is an entire crew that is fighting for their existence. If you wish it, I will do it.
There are discussions to be had, but I think right now the main thing to keep in mind is that no one can hide forever. And so I do think we need to make preparations for what happens next.
Yes.
I agree, especially since forever is not all happening in one direction. There is no forever to hide in, even.
Well, the good news is that if we're talking about forever, I hear there's a guardian for that.
I'm actually going to bring that up as well. Do you think they could help us in any way about this? With this extra information?
Carl is something altogether different. Is ancient, as advanced as I am, Carl is beyond me. Guardian of Forever is something that is no one even in my time frame completely understands. He might be willing to help us, but don't know. He has a prime directive of his own and is very protective of the timeline. He's also a good man when he manifests as one.
Perhaps you could fit into his prime directive. No harm in asking.
Possibly. But either way, it's a death sentence because I'm illegal. I am a weapon of mass destruction. I should not exist. The people of your time frame would want to quarantine me. The people of my time, if they're able to detect me at any point, which at this moment they might, since the data pad that you brought back was given to the temporal agency. People from my time will want to destroy me and all traces of me.
You are speaking with great confidence about what you expect people to do in response to information about you.
Yes.
And didn't this whole thing start when you told us that you kept this secret from us because you thought we would react in a way we're manifestly not reacting? Might it not be time to rerun those predictions?
You're
Maybe
unique.
see...
You're completely unique.
We are not.
You
That's
are
the beautiful thing about Starfleet, about the Federation. We're
No.
just like this.
You don't understand. I'm making these predictions because I've seen them. I'm making these predictions because I can see into the time frame. And I've seen the likely outcomes. But you are all saturated in anti-chronoton variants and you don't answer to the time frame anymore. You are unique because I cannot see what you will or will not do anymore. You're unique because, like me in the unsung, you are moving through history and making changes that are being absorbed into the timeline without disrupting the timeline. I don't know what happens next here on the Pride, but I can tell you that the place where I am from, temporal technology has been outlawed, and it is to be decommissioned. I would need to find a solution.
We are a ship of solutions.
Raleigh pipes up and says, "Ain't nobody killing you, okay? That's just fact. And if somebody comes back in time and tries to wave that around, we're the Federation. So, if they've done their homework, they're going to find out that they can't do that."
If only that's a call for our captain.
That is a very good point, Commander. I retract everything I said, but only in literal sense. In spirit, it's still there. It's still out there.
We don't tend to solve problems by killing. So I do believe you are speaking in an understandable.
Absolutely.
And I guess there's only one thing left to do. Captain, I would like to formally request asylum. And that's a good button for tonight's episode.
Whoa.
Wowza!
Whoa.
A time skipping rogue AI seeking asylum.
Awesome.
A fractured
See, this is
psyche.
why I didn't want him working on my Griffin squad.
You knew. You can tell.
I knew
Yeah.
it. I
So
knew it
fun.
was something. And I would...
The fractured psyche of a rogue
We've got one
AI.
AI on the team already. We don't
Um,
need another.
Yeah, it was Wes it all along. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I put multiple difficulty 5 barriers and multiple opposed checks in front of all of you to keep that all hidden, and you beat all of them.
And you tried to change the scene too, and I said, "Hold on, I want to look up one more thing."
Yep. I thought we were moving on, so I was like, okay, we're moving on from that. But yeah,
You can't tell me that a ship didn't leave a trail and then not expect me to say, "Hey, we've encountered that before."
yeah, I made a promise to
Wow.
myself, especially after we lost contact with the IKS Drovna. I'm gonna follow them wherever they go, and if the Drovna's never seen from again, then that's that. But yeah, y'all are picking up, y'all are getting it. So that's gonna wrap us out for tonight, though, friends. Thank you so much for joining us for this these last series of chapters of the journey of the USS Pride. We're coming upon the end, folks. So we'll see if we wrap out by the end of the year. But even if we don't, this has been such a fantastic ride. And I do want to just pause for a second and just thank you all so much, because this is a perfect example of burning those aux points, doing some amazing stuff tonight. Thank you all so much for your incredible support this past year. We obviously have a couple of more game sessions to go, so I'm not going to talk like this is goodbye for now. But it is the end of tonight's session. We will catch you next Monday night, the next episode of The Last Excelsior. Until then, Aux Crew, Hailing frequencies are closed.